Okay, I've got all the camshaft housing bolts in. I did a few little things. The camshaft sensor plug I plugged in. Hooked up the thermostat housing along with this pipe that goes into the side of it. Hooked back up the power steering pump. I just set the fuel rail here. I'm going to wait on putting the fuel rail in until I put the spark plug coil box in, because it'll hit this. It's difficult to get that in and out. Now I wanted to show you how easy it is to time this car. Drop my... Okay. Now I've got a 15 millimeter. I just have a impact socket on this swivel here. And I'll turn it a little bit, and it's going to pop. Now that popping is when it's returning the cams are returning home. Now it's pushing down a valve at some point here, and then it's going to go boom. And that is, I don't know if you can see it very well here or not. That is the springs, valve springs. See it a little bit better here. Go boop. Now at this point, you can see that little hole right there. Now what I'll do is I have a, this is better to do two-handed. Got one hand here busy, but what I'll do is I'll put the wrench back on, and I'll hold this here and kind of give it a little push. Not very hard, just gently. Let's see if I can do this with the camera. I'm holding that little wrench. Now it'll pop. Almost. There, it popped. Now, and as I was pushing on this little bar here, there's a hole. Hole goes inside. See a little ledge right there. That hole is in the valve cover gasket, or the valve body here, the timing cover gasket. Timing cover. And Andy did this one over here. You see that hole? It's right where it popped. It goes pop. It'll pop 4 times as it goes around. So now, both of these cams are at top dead center. Now we'll go down here, and you'll see this crank right now, the notch right here needs to line up with this dot. It's very easy to do, because this little notch has a little arrow that points right at this spur, and that spur, I think it's a got the socket up here. The socket I've been using for that is 1 1/4 inches. Put the 1 1/4 inches on there. Grab my socket wrench. I've already got the bolt on there because I was turning it before, but I'll keep the camera right here. Boom. A little bit more. too much. Let's see if it'll let me back it off a bit. Right there. Now the crank is in top dead center. So now, all I have to do is I'll have to go back up here. I may have to take this gear off. Just to, I'll loop my chain around, put the chain on the gear, and I'll slide it back in. There's only one place it can go, this gear, because it's got that pin notched already. And this isn't going to go anywhere because, as I showed you before, it popped, which means it's like a home. It's like where more of the cams are not under pressure than the other cams. And I've seen a lot of videos where guys are like, "Oh, this is bad," you know, and they're sitting down there turning their crank gear. They're turning that crankshaft, and then their chain is going shoop, shoop, and it's kind of flicking. Well, that's normal because the cams are coming around and they're resetting to a spot where it's not, there's no tension on the cam. So now your car does not use a socket wrench to turn that crank. It's constantly spinning, and with that constant force and the constant movement of that chain, the chain isn't sitting in there going blah, 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 blah. Well, it might be a little bit, but that's what your tensioner is for. Your tensioner is to loosen it and tighten it, but your chain shouldn't be going blah, just flopping around in there. But so that is a normal and once I get the chain on there, I'll loop it around, I'll tighten it around a couple times and show you. But that is how to time a GM 2.4 on a 2001 Cavalier. I got the timing chain and the timing chain tensioner back installed. I wound up just reusing the existing timing chain and the tensioner. Car's only got like 89,000 miles on it, something like that, or maybe under 100,000. Father-in-law kind of convinced me and said that if the timing chain isn't broken, then it should be fine. So I'm just gonna save a few bucks and do that. I ended up, it says on there, see owner's manual to reset. Basically what you do is you push that plunger down in all the way until it locks. It'll lock all the way in. Then you install it, tighten the two bolts. Obviously you have to put this this tensioner back in, or this tensioner in. And then once you get the timing chain, I had a little difficulty. I had a gear that was off up at the top, but I ended up getting it on there. And then once the timing chain is in, and you want it where it is, you put a screwdriver in there and you kind of flick it. You kind of push down. What I was doing is I was turning the screwdriver and then pulling it away real quick, and it went boop. And now I've had tension on the tensioner. But I'm going to show you what I did was I turned this 2 complete revolutions, which means this little notch went around once, went around twice, and again my chain was going floop, floop, floop. That is normal because, like I said before, the springs up top on those on your valves, they're releasing and from the lobes on your cam. So like I said, I went around 2 revolutions, I then went back up here and took my 1/4 inch, and that goes right into, and you can kind of feel, because it's a little bit smaller of a hole, but you can feel that it is inside the hole, the timing hole on this one, and it is inside the timing hole on this one. So the engine is completely 100% timed. So like I said, I had a little bit of difficulty here because I had a lot of slack up on this one, and this one was off. So I just stuck my my Allen wrench back in there, got that line back up so that I could take this one back off and move the chain over 1 notch, which lined it up the rest of the way down onto my crank gear. So now I'm going to reinstall the timing cover. I've got all the little bolts in there, bolts and nuts. I'm going to reinstall that timing cover, and then I'll go forward. I'll probably start on the put the throttle body back together and get all those cables and wires plugged back in from there.